Oh, hey, I'm March.
Flynn.
Kellock.
Oma.
Shreya.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you all had ventured across borders. You guys had gone from the nation of Ondale, where a massive river battle had ensued, and crossed the river and entered into Kaldur. Some of this being the first steps into Kaldur ever, some returning from this nation. You guys crossed the border and trekked south for quite a bit, trekking into this marshy swampland and eventually finding a path through the swamp. You guys were headed to Blackpool, where you guys are trying to discern where these crystals came from, their origins, and sort of what the story is behind them. You guys know a little bit of their backstory, but you guys are trying to get a full picture. You guys had traveled down this wooden path, these wooden slats rotting beneath your feet as you guys are traveling about 6 inches above the waterline of this swamp. After traveling for a little bit, the sun set behind you as the trees sort of took away the light of the sun, and this mysterious fog began to roll in. Not seemingly magical, but just very eerie and filling your lungs with this hot, damp atmosphere. You guys finally arrived at the city of Blackpool, but you wouldn't really even call it a city. It's more of a ramshackle town with wooden buildings on your left and right, everything lifted on a platform about half a foot off of the surface of the water to keep everything as dry as it possibly can. But you can still see that mildew and rot is making its way into some of the wood. You guys got there and you guys immediately saw the ruins of this warehouse that Oma and March seemed to know pretty well. You guys went over and you guys searched through the rubble, but it seemed that everything was already picked clean. All of the things that you were looking for, any clues, were already removed in this last week since Oma and March had been here. Flynn had noticed a old dwarf who was sort of posted up in a doorway. And as Flynn went to go investigate and sort of ask the locals about what happened, he discovered that this old dwarf was a sort of fortune teller and that he knew things about the past, present, and future that normal people probably wouldn't know. He went in and he asked about some of his companions, some of his family, and some of his personal life, asking for reassurance of sort of the things that were going on in his personal world. But then once leaving the confines of that room, was scolded by Olma for not asking about the task at hand of the crystals. But still, when you guys all attempted to go in, Kalik was seemingly barred from entering, his vision going completely blurry and being cast out of this fortune teller's home. You guys then went on having your next clue being at a tavern just down the way called the Hidden Spade Tavern. When you guys walked in, you saw 2 hooded figures at the bar talking to a dwarven hostess who was sitting behind the bar and telling them that she does not accept Hologuard there. So as you guys step in, the hooded figures are still facing her away from you guys, the bar directly across the room from you. And she says, "I'll tell you again, we do not accept any Hologuard here. You have made enough damage to this city, and I do not appreciate you guys coming through and picking through the bones and the rubble that is left here. So I would very much appreciate you all leaving." And without saying a word, they both look at each other, silently nod their heads, and turn towards you guys. As they turn, you guys are right in the doorway seeing this happen. What would you guys like to do? They're in the middle of turning.
I would like to sneak behind Shreya.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
11.
11. Okay.
Just sidestep.
Just sidestep behind him. Okay.
What are you doing back there?
Damn it, Troy.
I don't see the
Okay,
problem.
they turn around and their hoods do not come up from the direction that they're facing.
I will
Yet.
step in front of Oma. There's not much I can do for March, but I'm at least going to, like...
Are we able to see, like, their faces, or are we able to identify, like, what they look like in any way?
Kellic, I'm gonna have you make a performance check to sort of act nonchalant as you're trying to hide this child. And March, I'm gonna have you make you're just trying to see if you can see inside the hoods, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
Yeah,
I
make
don't
a
want to
perception
physically
check.
remove myself from... Okay.
It's a 12.
Okay, a 12.
Oh, and it's under the desk. Oh, hang on. Perception came out to 18.
18. Nice. So you look under these hoods, and you see that it's mostly covered in shadow, but you sort of get a good angle and you look, and you can see a couple tufts of fur coming out from one of the cloaks. You can see this white and black spotted fur. The white is almost matted and muddy and almost turned brown, but you can tell that at one point it was probably white. And you can just begin to see sort of a feline muzzle underneath, sort of that iconic cat-like nose coming down into the bridge of a mouth. You don't see beyond the nose and the mouth, though. On the other hooded figure, you see something a little bit different, and you see little like pieces of wood coming down and forming the jaw, and you can see above that a metallic upper lip sort of coming into a metal faceplate. Almost reminiscent a little bit of those iron guards that you guys had faced at the underneath the keep of, or underneath the tomb rather, of the Red Wolf. But this looks a little bit more polished, and it's more upright, and it walks more humanoid than those other metallic iron guards. They were very mechanical and moving in very precise patterns. This looks a little bit more fluid as it walks. But they continue to walk, and as they walk, let me roll for these guys. Okay, as they walk, they probably would have seen Olma if she was just hiding behind Shreya, but with the addition of Kellic then stepping in at the last minute and sort of making that extra cover, they don't seem to notice you guys specifically as they push their way past. They don't even seem to take you guys into consideration as they walk past, out the doorway, and past your line of sight.
Were we able to determine how tall they were in any way?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Were they as like tall as me, shorter than me, anything like that?
One of them was, if we're taking, let's take Kellic as sort of height reference. One of them, the feline creature, was slightly shorter than Kellic, and the one with the wooden jaw and metallic faceplate was slightly taller, but only by maybe 2 inches at most on either side.
You see, March? See how easy it was to just block someone's view? Huh? Just next time, I need that from you. That's all you have to do. Just stand there. Say nothing. Don't make a fuss.
Yeah, Shreya, say
I'm going to-
nothing.
I'm going to actively roll my eyes at Kellic and make sure that I emphasize that eye roll to an umpteenth degree.
I can tell from your expression that you're hearing what I'm saying, and I appreciate it. And I'm gonna make my way into the tavern a little further.
March?
Yeah.
Do you think they were looking for us?
I don't know, but I think we should just lay low, keep quiet, and maybe get into this tavern and just get a room for a night.
Okay. Yeah.
How big is this place, DM?
This is actually a fairly small tavern. It's only about probably 20 feet by 20 feet.
Okay. Ooh.
And it's made even smaller by the numerous tables that are like crammed into here. There's like as much seating as possible trying to be in here, as well as the bar coming off of the wall. It does feel a little bit claustrophobic with the amount of stuff in here.
And who is the barkeep that was yelling at these Hologuard guys?
At this point you see a dwarven woman, bright red hair, bright red beard, as she is wiping the countertop at this point, sort of trying. It looks like she's like sort of in a huff about these Hologuard coming in, and it looks like she's just trying to keep herself busy with work at this point.
I'll approach and say, it's the afternoon. Yeah, is that accurate, or is it like in the middle of the morning?
It's just cresting into night, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you guys had
that
traveled.
was my third guess.
You guys had traveled for most of the day to get to Blackpool.
Right. Good evening, ma'am.
Oh, how are you?
Doing fine. We've been on the road a bit. We just arrived this evening. You getting trouble from Hologuard?
Oh yeah. Excuse me about that. I've told them many times that they can't come in here anymore. They're not welcome, and they seem to persist and persist.
That seems to be the... I'll sort of cast a glance over toward my Hologuard compatriots. They are a persistent bunch, to be sure. Well, seems like you've taken the right approach in reprimanding them.
Well, I found that beyond the intimidation that they bring, they can't really enforce too much over here. So I try to just sort of stand my ground. Some of the other shopkeepers haven't really gotten the wherewithal to do it yet, but I'm trying to keep them out of our town.
Do they not? Forgive me if this is too big an ask. We're just travelers, so we're keeping everything at an arm's length. But do they not have any stake in the war going on? Is there not some benefit for your, community here to have ties with such an organization?
Well, as far as I know, Hologuard isn't really a part of any sort of the military structure of Kaldur. They're sort of an independent organization. And I know that they've, in recent months and recent years, been sort of taking advantage of the distraction of the war and sort of doing their thing as they are pillaging and stealing from other people. And the war is a good distraction for that, I would say.
Right. That makes sense. Well, we are... my friends and I here are looking for some lodging for the evening. Do you have rooms available?
Oh, we actually every once in a while we get this question, and I'm afraid I'm always embarrassed to say, but we don't really have much lodging here as we don't get too many travelers. But I always offer... I've got a bit of a personal quarters here as some of my children have left Blackpool to pursue whatever else they're pursuing out there within the world, their adventurous hearts may be. And so I do have some personal lodging that I would be able to afford you and perhaps a few of your compatriots if you would be so willing.
Sure. We've been roughing it. I think whatever accommodation you can provide would be of value to us.
Well, I can't say much about my home, but I do think it's better than roughing it.
Very, very little isn't.
While Kellic is talking to this barkeep, you said there's a lot of furniture and setup in this house. Flynn will be trying to use it as like a distraction and try to look for stuff. He's not sure what he's looking for. He just remembers hearing from the fortune teller that this is where we need to be to find like a clue. So he's like lifting cushions, moving the tables, flipping through the books, but trying to like do it like non-discreetly, but trying to use it as an opportunity to like see is it maybe under this cushion, and is like looking around, trying to like moving stuff, peeking, being nosy.
Yeah, for sure. As you are moving around, it's at the point where you almost, in order to pull a chair out from a table, you almost have to move 2 other chairs out of the way in order to get that chair out. But as you're moving around, make an investigation check.
Sure. All right.
I'll have Alma will be making her way up to Kellic and the tavern keeper.
Okay.
I only got a 9.
Only got a 9.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as you rolled a 9, actually not that hard to find.
Hey, okay.
As you are looking around, you're like looking under. There's like these sort of really ragtag pillows and sort of cushions on each of these seats. And as you peel a couple of them up, there's like crumbs and stuff. And the pillows, some of them seem to have just gotten damp from the atmosphere here in this swamp. And you see a couple of them that are, a little bit newer, and you're like lifting these up, and you're not finding anything. And as you look over to Kellic for just a moment, you see past Kellic, past the innkeeper, or the tavern keeper, and you see up on the back shelf, she has sort of different bottles of alcohols and different like dried food items, cans and jars of dried fruit and dried meats. And you can see one of these it looks like a very nice glass bottle filled with a dark alcohol, perhaps a whiskey. You see it's resting on a vibrant purple little pillow.
If I'm standing next to someone, Alma, March, Shraya, I'll give them a nudge and just point at it. I think that's what we need. So, I'll maybe Alma, because she's probably my height. If I can, like, slide up to her, just be like, hey, I think that's... See that pillow?
Yeah, I see it.
I don't know, it's just calling to me.
What do you want me? Oh, do you think that's the pillow?
I don't know. Maybe. It's better than these, and I hold up one of the ones.
Marge said it was purple, but I don't know how I'm supposed to get it. It's behind the bar.
Well, let's get a room and we can talk about it with the group.
But she just said there's no room.
She said there's like...
How much are we talking for the room? The one room I'm assuming that's available.
Oh, how much do they normally charge for a room per night?
I'll how does 20 silver sound?
Hey, sounds great to me.
Then that'll be what it is.
All right.
I saw that there's a bunch of like rubbish over in the corner. What used to be there?
Oh, that used to be a warehouse for the Banuk tribe. They would bring shipments through, and this was sort of be a waypoint, a stopping point from mostly the shipping through Kaldur. Before the war started, I know that they were shipping. This was sort of a waypoint for shipping from country to country, but obviously that's come to a bit of a stop after all of the fighting broke out. So it mostly takes things from outpost to outpost here in Kaldur.
Wow. What happened?
Oh, there was a fire. It was actually sort of an interesting story because we don't get too many fires here. The whole town is made of wood, but because of the atmosphere here and sort of the wet nature of everything, there's not too many fires that sort of spontaneously happen. So some of us have been talking, and we think it was part of a shipment that came through, and there was possibly some chemicals that were in there that's mixed the wrong way and sort of started this fire. But there's really no way to tell now that everything's ash and everything else has been taken away.
That sounds like a perfectly reasonable reason that a fire might happen.
Sometimes things just blow up.
Sometimes they do, and chemicals, alchemical ingredients are absolutely combustible. So sure.
For sure. And between you and me, I've heard some rumors that Kaldur has been experimenting with different different chemicals and different technologies that could possibly do something like this. That's the word around town, though.
Ooh, Caldura's experimenting?
Yeah, but
That's
all
fine.
evidence of that has been
For the war?
long taken away. Yes, definitely for the war. But all the evidence for that has been
Wow.
taken away at this point.
Well, did everything burn up in the fire, or did people get some stuff? Like, did you get anything nice?
Oh, I was actually able to get something nice after everyone else had taken everything away. There were some members of the army of Kaldur who came in, and I think they were looking for something specific, but they were sort of
they were
rummaging
probably
through.
looking for their chemicals. They were probably
Oh,
trying to
most
prove
certainly.
that it wasn't them, right?
Most certainly.
I mean,
And they were looking for something specific, and they took as much as they could as sort of, I think, partially evidence to see what had happened to it. So they were sort of shipping things away. But then after that, some of the shippers from the Banuk tribe started to come by, and they came by and they were all in a huff because the Kaldur was taking away all of their shipments and everything, and they weren't taking too kindly to that, as their trade wasn't evidence for them. So they took everything that they could back to. They've got another warehouse just east of here.
another warehouse just east of here.
Is this the Banuk tribe owns the warehouse? Is that what I'm to understand?
Yes, the Banuk tribe has different shipping outposts all over Kaldur, and actually they actually have some more a little bit in secret over in Ondale and Ganbaldir, and even a couple over in the Freywood. I know that they have one set up over in Ilgard, but yeah, they transport all over the world.
Now, what town is just east of here where there's a warehouse?
It's not a town.
I've never been to this town.
It's sort of in the middle of nowhere. You wouldn't know about it if you didn't live here and know that some of these members of the Banuk tribe come by and request libations and drinks and things of that sort. So they come by, but you wouldn't really know it if you didn't live here.
Wow. Sounds super sneaky.
I'd say so. They use this this warehouse over here for more general items, but I know that they've got some spooky stuff going over at the other one. They've got it's definitely smaller, and so they take their sort of higher paying customers and their higher security items over to that one.
Wow.
And how do they get on with you? Is it as hostile as the Hologard, or?
Oh no,
is it,
not at all. We've actually come to have sort of a symbiotic relationship. I'd say one of the only reasons that this town is still afloat is because of the trade that comes by, and the money that flows through from the Banuk tribe.
Well, I'm glad you guys are still here.
So am I. I wouldn't know where I would
What
go.
did you get from the warehouse?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What did you get from the warehouse?
Oh, it wasn't much. I just went over and I was just sort of investigating around and seeing what I could find, see if I could find any goodies. All I could find was this little sort of like a padded pillow. I thought it looked kind of nice,
Ooh.
but it's really not that much. And she
What made you think it looked nice?
oh, it just sort of looked like it was made very well. I've got sort of a soft spot for good craftsmanship, so.
I can tell.
Yes, my mother was an incredible seamstress. Her and my father would make these beautiful tapestries and textiles, and they made all of our clothes as children growing up. So I sort of thought of this and thought of my parents as I got it.
Oh, I love that. I'd love to see it.
Oh, most definitely.
I have a passion for a good seams as well.
Let me go get it for you. And she walks over, and behind the bar, she's got one of those sliding ladders that sometimes you see in libraries. And she slides it over, rolls it over to where the pillow is on the bar, and she climbs up and she grabs it off of the top shelf, grabs the glass bottle, puts the whiskey back down, and comes back down with the pillow, puts it on the counter, and says, "It's this one right here. It's got a little bit of a scorch, but for the most part, I think it's pretty much intact." And you can see at this point, it is a just probably about 5 inches by 4 inches. This nice little pillow. You can see some scorch marks in one of the corners where it's sort of melted and been burned away, but it's got this nice like golden filigree around the outside of it.
Are there any distinguishing marks on it?
It looks like there's like the gold on the outside sort of forms these flower patterns, but besides that, it's a little purple pillow.
Wow, it's so pretty. And I want to run my hands over it, over the pillow. Do I feel anything out of place? If I squish it just a little bit, do I feel anything inside of it?
Yeah, make an investigation check. Eight. As you are sort of pressing into the pillow, you sort of nick yourself a little bit with a splinter that's been sort of lodged deeper within the pillow, just like this little wooden splinter. And as you pull your thumb away, you can kind of see some of the wood residue on there. But besides that, nothing unusual about the pillow.
Ow!
Be careful, Oma.
I stick my thumb in my mouth. It's really pretty. Hey, March, I think I've seen something like this before. Does it look familiar to you? Wink, wink, wink.
I'm gonna kind of just look over and go, like, as nonchalantly as I can go. Yeah, I feel like I may have seen a few of those, and then try and go back to, like, just blending into the background as much as possible.
You're large and green. I don't think you can blend. Or you're large with green hair.
I'm trying.
We all watch as March steps backward and bangs her shoulder on the door that's too thin for her.
I'm basically like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like observe, like pretend that I'm like into the architecture of the place. Like, ooh, I really enjoy those crown moldings kind of thing. Like, as making it so that I'm as just not like as blended as I possibly can.
Shreya witnessing this strange behavior in front of him, and has also been like sweeping little like droplets of mist and building like moisture and like flickering his feathers, and just trying to keep as dry as possible. Has been waiting patiently, but his patience is starting to wean, and suddenly bellows forth after all the niceties. I don't know if I've been able to hear any of the niceties, but...
Is our business here almost commenced? I grow tired of this desolate, decrepit place.
Very loudly, by the way.
I give the bartender a coy look and just say, "Don't mind him. He's been on the road for a while with us. He's just tired, knackered, bit hungry. You know how."
I understand that. I've actually got some food prepared. Mr. Bird, would you like some food or possibly some drink?
Hi, Mr. Bird. What you think?
Who?
I sort of walk forward. As
I do have a name. What's your name?
My name is Angela Nightborn.
Greetings. I'm Shreya. How do you do?
What's your name? Shreya. Very nice to meet you, Shreya.
You wouldn't happen to have, you mentioned food. You wouldn't happen to have, things that grow on, in bushes or anything raw, like berries? I'm always on the hunt for new berries.
We do. I could get you some berries. We've got a couple baskets of vegetables in the back that were actually just brought in the other day. And as far as meats go, we've got some fish that were caught locally, if you would like to take part in some of that.
Shreya, they have fish. I'm sorry, Mr. Bird. They have fish.
I grow tired of the... this one's going to stick, isn't it?
And I look forward and I look back and I say,
all right. Let's take a look at what you have to offer, and you'll be compensated fairly for your wares and your anything that we partake in.
Well, yeah, Shred, that's usually how ordering food works. You pay for it.
Right. Well, I'm not hurting for much of that after my recent exchange. That's you also do that with your currencies and the worlds of the Earthwalkers, right? It's fun to brag about it. I've seen.
Oh yeah.
I've seen people
You're
doing that
great.
before. Okay, good, good.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Great.
Alma, take your thumb out of your mouth. Let me take a look at you. And I'm gonna kneel down.
I'm not going to be out my mouth.
I'm gonna kneel down and take her hand and look and sort of casually look at her thumb. But I'll say sort of under my breath, what's this pillow all about? What's going on with this thing?
Well, I think the pillow is what we were looking for in the warehouse. We were looking for the purple fabric from a pillow because that's where the crystals were lying on in the box.
So the pillow will help us find the origin of the crystals?
No, the pillow's basically nonsense because there wasn't any symbols on it, but now we know that the box existed. I was just hoping there'd be like a symbol on it, something that would guide us to the next place, but really, I think we should just go east to the other warehouse and maybe there's another prison cube.
Maybe another pillow, right?
Yeah, maybe another pillow, but I really don't think you're understanding. We don't need the pillow.
DM, I'm just gonna look at the pillow when she says I couldn't find any symbols on it. Do I recognize anything from it? It's just a purple pillow with some nice embroidery.
You can make an investigation check if you would like.
Okay. Would like. Natural 1.
Ooh.
Nothing on the pillow.
Nothing on the pillow. It's a nice little pillow.
I'm telling you, Kelly, we don't need the pillow. It's just let her have it.
I don't want the pillow. It's just.
At any point after I've walked up, do I hear them say the word pillow, even though they're speaking under their breath?
How loud are you guys trying to keep this conversation a secret?
We're being pretty quiet. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
He's leaning
Okay.
down to my thumb.
yeah.
you would not have heard that, no.
Okay.
But it was very clear that she went up and there has been a pillow exchanged, but you don't hear their conversation necessarily.
Okay.
I don't know if it's possible, but at Calyx's mentioning of Alma's name, I would like to have quickly used my foot to sort of kick his shin at mentioning her name out loud, in an effort to try and get him to understand in any way. I don't know if this, but to get him to understand and not say our names
Are
out
you
loud.
dashing across the room to me?
Yeah,
To kick me in
you
the
are on the
shin?
other side of the
You
room.
Are you
Admiring
guys
the
still? I
architecture.
thought it was.
We're at the bar.
I'm doing a wander, trying to observe things, but if that was in any way possible, if not, then it's fine.
Yeah, I'll say you could have eventually wandered over and done that.
No.
And kicked a shin.
And kicked a shin, yeah.
I just really wanted to. Can I roll for damage? No,
Kellic,
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna have you make an insight check.
Okay. 11.
She just kicked her shin, and it kind of hurt.
What the fuck, March?
Oh, that was harsh. Well, Angela, that's a very nice pillow, and I love that it's on display behind the bottle because then it kind of gets bigger if you look at it through the glass. It kind of blows up and it's huge.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm glad you spotted
Oh
it.
my goodness. Yeah, it's really, you've got an eye for design. And I look around and I look at all her cramped furniture and I'm like, man,
Thank you. I
it's
try.
really comfortable in here.
I try. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go back and get some of that food prepared for you.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Yes, food.
All right. And she steps behind the bar and sort of walks into a back room and disappears out of sight for a couple minutes. Is there anything that you guys want to do as she's away?
Is there anyone else in this bar right now? There wasn't, right?
Yeah, as you look around, there are actually two pairs of people. There was a pair of drow sitting right out front, and then there is another pair sitting off in the corner. They are two dwarves that are sitting in the corner.
How far away are they from us now? If I've kind of done like a wander around the room and then sort of migrated back to a place where I can kick Kalik in the shin,
You would be
how far are they going to be from
about
us?
in the middle of the room. You would be maybe 10 feet away.
Okay, then I would like to turn to Kalik and as quietly as possible go, I'm kicking your shin to tell you to not use our names.
You should consider using your words to tell me that instead of kicking me in the shit.
Yeah, well, according to you, I'm just supposed to know when, shit's happening and when you're hiding from people, and you're supposed to understand when I'm telling you to not use our names.
I don't think that's a fair
So-
comparison. But I'll
Might be close
not
to it.
say the names.
Anyways, why don't you just call Olma Olga, and you can call me,
I don't like that name.
Marguerite.
Olga's a hideous
I don't
name,
think
March.
it's
I think if you're going to make up a name for Olma, I feel like it should be a nice name.
Olma, what name would you make up for yourself?
Oma.
I would like to just kind of have the most love her kind of expression over my face at her responding to that of of course you would. Of course you would.
All right, food's ready.
She told us her name. Oh,
And she comes back out with a tray, and she puts it down on the bar, and you can see on one side of it is like some mushrooms that are very obviously local, as sort of like these like soggy and sort of mushy mushrooms and vegetables. And then in right next to them, you can see some brighter, more fresh vegetables that you guys are more familiar with, like carrots and some zucchini in there as well. And then right next to that on a plate is 2 fish. One of them is cooked and one of them is raw. And she puts it down and she says, and looking at Shreya, and she says, I don't know how you like your fish cooked, so I gave you some options. Is this all right for you?
I like it cooked not at all, thank you.
And I sort of grab the raw one and immediately just toss it in the air and catch it.
Very intuitive of
Anita.
you, Angela.
Well, sometimes I like to go out and feed the birds in sort of the back. So
I
figured
so
I'd
you are
take a
used to
chance.
having pet birds.
I wouldn't call them my pets, but I'm used to having them around.
They are my. There are things I share, certain traits I am aware that I share with other beasts of this world. And I would prefer, from this point forth, if you would call me by my name.
Right. Okay, Shreya.
Thank you.
You're not a bird.
Well, yes, that is true. I am uniquely me.
Well, I've got some beds set up in the back, and I don't really know about any hay and twigs. As she looks to Shreya, am I getting that right?
I would be. Save your troubles. I refuse to sleep in a place like this. No offense or anything. It's just a little bit too. What's the word? Tight. I will find something somewhere that is not here. But on the bright side, that leaves more space for my companions.
All right, well, that's your prerogative. So, if you all would like to sit down and eat, I can show you the rooms afterwards.
That'd be great. Thank you so much, Angela.
All right, fantastic.
I
And
just
she,
have an expression of eyes wide, dumbfoundedness at this whole scenario.
And she goes back to cleaning the bar.
What all do we see in front of us other than the vegetables and the fish?
Vegetables and fish.
Any bread? No bread?
Mm-mm, no bread.
I'll stick my finger into the squishy mushroom and push it all the way down.
Yeah,
just
it
let
just
it
sinks right
pulverize under
through.
me. And I have some additional gunk on my
Yeah.
finger, and I'm just gonna sniff it. Does it smell okay?
Make a Constitution check.
Really good. 19.
Nothing worse than things you've eaten before.
Okay, I'm gonna stick the finger in my mouth and taste it.
It's food.
Cool. I'm gonna eat it.
Okay.
This is really not that bad. It's not that bad, guys.
During most of this, Flynn has probably sat down on one of the couches and had pulled out his book that he got during the trials and was just kind of flipping through it and just kind of reading. And
just as clarification, in this tavern area, it's all just wooden chairs and tables. Some of them have like little pillows on top of them, or like little seating cushions. There aren't necessarily any couches or anything. It's all just like wooden tables and chairs.
Sure.
Just as reference.
Okay, no worries. So he was probably just sitting. He probably put one of the pillows on top of his lap, sat down in the chair, and had his little book out and was kind of like flipping through, looking at different scrawlings and drawings and sketches, and just looking at it. And then absentmindedly, when she says there's food, oh man, I am hungry, and runs over and grabs a mushroom. Is this okay? Are you sure, Alma?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And I'll take a little nibble.
Make a Constitution check.
No! Okay. Ooh, that's pretty good. And to total it out, that is a 19. You got a 19 too, right?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah. It smells kind of gross, but you'd definitely be able to eat it. It's not like you would have to fight it going down, but you would be able to eat it.
Huh, not bad. And I'll start eating with Alma and just kind of sit down next to her and just start chowing down on mushrooms.
The plate
And some
of fresh
carrots
vegetables
and some-
untouched.
I'll eat
No,
the
I'm
vegetables.
having some of the fresh vegetables. I'm mixing and smorgasbording it.
Okay, cool.
Is that second cooked fish still there?
Yes, it is.
I would like to look at Kalik and kind of like give like a. Would you like half of a fish? You hungry? No.
You're don't take this the wrong way, March, but you're a big lady. You might need the fish for yourself.
You know, every time you tell me I'm a big lady, it's the biggest compliment you've ever given me, and I really appreciate
How could
it.
it be a bigger compliment than the last time I gave it?
It just warms my heart and soul every time I hear it. And then I'm genuinely gonna just start like digging in not a very dignified manner.
All right. You eating this fish, you're scarfing it down. You're getting a couple bones here and there, but you're hungry. You don't care.
More calcium.
More
Yeah.
calcium, exactly.
I'm just pecking at the vegetables like a bird. Just a little bit. I was eating it very, very slowly, calmly.
Okay. Now, having eaten, Angela comes back out, and she sort of ushers you guys into the back room behind the bar. You can tell that this is like very informal, as she's leading you sort of behind the bar area and through into the back, where she has just like a little tiny kitchen area. And you can see like where she's got a different fish and some vegetables, a lot of which you just saw on your plates. And then through that room, she takes you guys up a flight of stairs into sort of the upper home area of this tavern. And she says, so you've got one room on your left over here and then one room on your right. The other room on the right is my room. Probably not suited for you guys all at this point. I apologize. It's a bit of a mess. But if you want to take each of the kids' rooms, you all are more than welcome to.
Thank you. That's really kind of you. You sure got an empty nest, huh?
Oh, yeah. The children sort of flew the coop a couple years ago, as they had more adventurous hearts than I did. And you know, as a mother, what can you do but sort of encourage that spirit within them?
Absolutely. What are your children doing?
Oh, well, one of them has traveled up north, and they're mining to sort of, as they put it, find their fortune in the mines up north. And then one of them actually just went down south, and I believe he's sort of in a bit of a party, just as you all are, sort of out there and adventuring within the world and finding new corners of Elbor and discovering new places that have never been discovered, and all of that. He is always growing up, he always just went around town and was trying to find new little insects and new little animals. And so he was always drawing those down in his notebook. And so
Wow.
I believe that that's probably what he's doing for most of his time is wandering the world with other people and finding new plants and animals and documenting what he can.
Well, maybe we'll cross paths with him. What's his name?
He's my oldest. His name is Oxian, Oxian Nightborn.
That's a wonderful name.
And then my youngest his name is Balfam.
I sure do hope we meet them.
I do too. If you could,
You never know where we're going to travel.
if you could tell them
so
that
it'd
I
be
say
so
hi,
nice.
if you ever come across them, tell them that I say hi. That would be incredible.
I will. I'll say, your mom says hi and I slept in your bed.
Maybe leave out that second part, but most definitely.
Okay.
Oh, and since you all are the adventuring type, going about from what I heard from the drow over there, would you be able to just carry something on your person that if you ever come across them to give it to them?
Oh, well, sure.
Here.
I mean, it depends on how heavy it is, but
Oh, not
sure.
heavy at all. Not heavy at all. And she sort of sprints away for a second. You can hear some rummaging down in the kitchen as like jars are being knocked over and you hear like a glass plate fall and hit the ground and shatter. And she runs back up and she says, so I've got these, they're sort of like candy pastries, but they stay good for quite some time, and I would always feed them to them as kids, and they love them. Here, I've got 2 of them, just on the chance that you meet both of them going about your journeys. I want you to have enough for both of them. And she hands you these 2 sort of long leather, like hide bags, and you can see within them, they've got like these little... I can best describe them as like these bread sticks with sort of like a chocolate coating on the outside. And there's like little pieces of dried fruit that are also like within the chocolate. And she says, yeah, I make these all the time. And I had them for them as they were kids and they love them. So if you ever come across any of them, as small chance as that may be, Elbor is a big world. I would appreciate you giving this to them.
I would love to. Oh, wow. What happens if I never meet them and I just have these breadsticks? I mean, is there a certain point when they might go bad? Like, is there a point where I'm like, oh no, we haven't met them and these are going to go bad in a week. Maybe I should eat them.
You could bury these in the ground and come back 100 years later and they would still be exactly the same.
Wow. Okay, so I'll just carry them forever.
Yeah, it's a family recipe.
They'll be my little piece of you that I can carry with me forever.
That was actually my mother's recipe as her and my father would travel the world and sort of sell their textiles and their clothing all over the place. And going from town to town and city to city, they needed some sort of snack in between that wouldn't go bad. So this is what they came up with, and I'm proud to pass it on to my children and to hear all of you.
Well, I'll carry them forever. Unless I meet them, in which case I'll give them to them.
I would very much appreciate that.
In the hearing of the souvenirs and such, Flynn pipes up. You said stuff that we can take from Blackpool that's local to here. Is there anything that one might procure to hold on to and not have to give to someone else? Is there any type of Blackpool shop?
Export? We don't really do much of that here within town. We sort of keep to our own. The only import and export that comes through here is through the Bannock. I don't really know. Are you looking for like a souvenir?
Yeah.
We don't really have a gift shop if that's what you're asking about.
Man. All right. Well, thank you. And he'll kind of go back, put his nose back in his book. Keeps looking.
Okay.
Well, you've been so very kind to us, Angela. Thanks so much. What do we owe you for dinner?
Oh, let's just call it, let's just say 10 silver pieces.
Wonderful. So I will hand you 10 silver
I got
pieces.
it. And Shreya, quickly leans over, takes out some of the...
It's on me tonight.
And,
You're not even going to sleep here. Oh, I guess it was for dinner. Never mind. Go ahead. You do you.
And I kind of like look back, and through my beak, I kind of crack it a little bit and try to like seem cool in the most.
Angela, if I might trouble you just a bit further.
Anything. I do have to say, I need to get back down to the bar in a few moments. But yes, what's your question?
We as we sort of, looked around town when we came in, we took note of the burned down warehouse, and there was a strange sort of purveyor of mysteries, if you will. An old dwarven man. Are you aware of this fella near that the burned down warehouse?
Oh yes, you're talking about Dolman Oakfoot. He's been here for quite some time. He sort of moved in after the war broke out, as this was sort of the only real respite. As this, it's a swamp. You can't really have a strategic position here in a swamp. So he came in here, and he started living here a little bit after the war started.
Does he do work for the people here? Does he help the sick, or do a kindness for injured folks? Yes, he,
that's funny that you bring that up. He, every once in a while when someone gets sick, he helps heal them and bring them back to sort of their better self. And then, minor cuts and bruises and scrapes and broken bones and things like that, he can take those away as well.
That's as I suspected. Does he wear a symbol that you know of?
No, I've never seen a symbol of any sort.
And just one final question. Does Blackpool, do the people here, do they have an opinion on the war? As a kind of neutral territory? Are you troubled by it? Is there a general feeling towards it?
Well, the war has definitely stopped more of the trade coming through and more of the travelers. As you can see around you over the last 30 years, this place has sort of gone to hell a little bit. And we don't really have the money anymore to keep up all of the things that we used to over 30 years ago. So, the war is a sad truth for us now. Nothing much we can do about it either way. But we fall within the borders of Kaldur. So for the most part, we all accept the new gods as sort of our lords.
Right. That makes sense. I thank you for your time and for all of your help you've offered us so kindly.
Oh, you're welcome. If you don't mind, I'm going to step away.
Not at all. And I'll, under my breath as she walks away, I'll just say, may the light be upon you. And I will make my way into one of the rooms.
All right. As you guys make your way into these rooms, minus Shreya, you guys open the rooms, and they look like kids' rooms that haven't been touched in quite a few years. All of them, like, very dwarven sized, obviously. March, you're a little bit disappointed at the size of the beds, as these are not only dwarven beds, but like dwarven children beds. And so they are definitely very small, but each of these rooms is definitely big enough for you guys to stay in. You guys look around, and in one of the rooms, the room on the left, you walk in and you can see a wooden toy chest that's open, and it's got all these little wooden figurines and little like metallic, some of them are like made of iron, depicting different dwarves in like various positions. You see a couple of dwarven soldiers, and they're just like these little wooden and iron figures. You see a couple of toys with like little wheels on the bottom, and this chest is open, And in the other room, you see books stacked on books, stacked on books. All of these looking like sketchbooks. And as you guys walk in, you can see like loose leaf papers on a desk in the corner and like half done drawings. You see crumpled up papers in the corner where drawings have been cast aside as they weren't good enough. And you also see in an open book on that desk, you can see different flowers and different like small insects that have been sort of pressed and inlaid into the paper itself as sort of like a living documentation of these creatures, mostly like flowers and stuff, but every once in a while there's like some like loose butterfly wings in there as well that may have come from a deceased butterfly or a feather here or there, but that's what you see in these rooms.
Flynn, did you stay downstairs or have you come up?
I think I was up there flipping through the book and just kind of standing next to the group, and I probably walked into the rooms. But is Shreya not with us now? He walked away to remind me, there's a back door that he walked out to like stay in the back. Is that right?
No, we haven't gotten them yet.
Okay, but yeah, I'll probably peek into the rooms and be chilling in them. Yeah.
I'll just point to the sketchbooks and say, "Hey, Flynn, maybe some time to study more than magic, hey?"
Oh, yeah, and I'll close the book and kind of walk over and look around at some of the sketches, pick up some of the stuff, and draw a very quick image of Kellic on the page. Give him a thumbs up.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Sure. 10.
10. Kind of resembles Kellic. It's definitely not anyone else in the party. That's for sure.
I still got it.
Well, you got the bandaged arm right, so I'll give you that much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take a go sleep, but tomorrow we check out the other warehouse.
To the east, is that right?
To the east. In a hidden place. Maybe we'll find it.
Might be a long trek. Is that all we know? You just want to go east?
Do you think that Angela might have a better sense of where to go? Did she seem to know?
I mean, she said that people in the town tend to know, so tomorrow she might be able to help us find a guide.
Okay.
I don't know how secretive we need to be about the fact that we're going, though, so that's up to you. I'm so tired. I'm just gonna go sleep. Good night. I'm gonna go over to the room on the right and jump on the bed. And then jump into it and fall asleep. It's probably the perfect size for me.
Perfect size for you.
After drawing a beautiful picture of Kellic, I will look around and notice Shreya's not here, and remember that possibly he's not sleeping in this area, and I'll turn to Kellic. Hey, did they say Shreya's gonna be going out back or out front, or where's he going? Is he staying outside?
He made a big fuss about not wanting to be in here.
Well,
so
I'm gonna go look for him, and I'll come back later and come crash in one of these beds, and I'll point to one of them. I call that one.
It might be cause for concern. I definitely would like to be looked after.
Yeah.
So.
Who knows? I'll go look for him, but I'll be back,
Right.
and I'll head out, look for Shreya.
I take the bed that Flynn called.
Fuck you.
Okay,
I'm gonna lay out a bedroll next. I'm gonna follow Olma, lay out a bedroll, kind of, if I'm able to, just on the floor, sort of a couple feet away from the bed. Just kind of crawl into it.
okay. Flynn, you're going to see where Shreya is, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and locate him because I'm mainly also looking for an area that's secluded that I can mess around with some stuff.
Okay. Shreya, where would he find you as he comes downstairs?
Not in the structure. I would have, after they went toward the rooms, kind of left with a snort, gone outside, and started to look around. Remind me, the kind of like bog swamp like area we're in, are there any trees at all in this area?
Oh yeah, the entire thing. There's like a ceiling of like tree branches and everything reaching out above you. You can barely see the sky where you are.
Okay, so in that case, I would have, after everyone left, started the process of like looking toward the treetops, looking for trees with branches that kind of shoot out, and trying to scope out which one might have which trees might seem to be like closer together, whose branches like interlock at all.
Okay, make a nature check.
Fantastic. Oh God, no! One? No! Ah! Okay, yeah, 1.
A 1. This is like totally not your element. This fog is especially now that it's night, this fog is starting to roll in and you can't really see too far. You look up straight ahead and it just seems very thin all around and you can't really see what you're looking for.
I'm gonna like pace around, grunt, and just frustratedly keep like walking through the town and look for someone to talk to that might be able to help me.
Okay. As you are looking around, I'm going to say, Flynn, at this point, you exit the tavern and see Shreya just kind of looking back and forth, looking for people to talk to, maybe.
I'll kind of notice, kind of wave. Shreya, what are you doing? We have rooms inside.
Short one. I need to find... Yes,
I walk up to him.
I'm trying to find a place to sleep. I cannot stand. Cannot be on the ground anymore. It's so wet down here.
Oh, well, maybe I can help. And I'll look around and see if I can notice, like, I don't know. I would look for, this is going to sound crass, but a place that they would maybe keep animals. Maybe because they would have, like, actually bedding and, like, areas to stay. Looking around, seeing that there's a bunch of swamplands and stilts, it looks like maybe there's not going to be anywhere to sleep unless there's, like, that kind of situation. That would be an outside area that we could lie down.
Yeah, make a perception check for me.
Okay. Perception's not bad. 16.
16. You look over and you see actually up sort of in the trees, there are a couple of these massive cages hanging from the trees that are like almost like this wire mesh. And you can see sort of these little habitats of birds flying in each of them, as these are like bird cages. But beyond that, you don't see anything. You see, if you're looking for like places to sleep outdoors, you look at in center of town, you see once again that statue of a dwarven man sitting sort of on a throne with a staff in one hand. And you can see that there are 4 benches sort of surrounding the base of this statue.
Well, after looking at the cages and being like, nope, I'll notice the statue. We could maybe crash on those benches over there, Shreya. What about that?
Benches? Where? What benches?
Right there. How do you not see them? We can maybe put, like, our bedrolls on them, and I'll stay out here with you. I mean, I don't want you to sleep alone.
No, you sleep wherever you want. I'll be fine.
Okay, I'll sleep out here with you. But I do want to try something first.
Okay.
I will look around for an area that is kind of secluded and open, that I can mess around, test some things.
If you just walk to the edge of
Sure.
this town, it drops off right into the swamp. You can do whatever. It's as secluded as you can get here.
Are there any dry patches of land? I don't want to do this on one of the bridges made of wood. I want to do this on solid land. Are there any areas of land that I can stand on and do this?
Looking out, you see a couple places right off of where this town ends, where sort of a little bit of landmass comes up and arcs out of the the swampy water just sort of making a little bit of a land. You don't really know how dry it is, but those are there. A couple of them every here and there.
Yeah, I'll head out over that way. Dryad, come check this out. I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Ah, all right.
And I'll make my way. I'll hop off the stilted wooden ladder walkways and kind of land on that little, I'm assuming, squishy landmass.
Yeah,
and
for sure. Yeah, your feet sink right into it, but it doesn't get any higher than your ankles. Yeah. But your feet definitely like squish right into the mud.
Cool. I will pull out my little book that I got during my trials.
Okay.
Flip to the certain page. Look at it one more time. Close it. Almost set it down on the ground. Realize that it might get dirty. And take the time to put it in my bag. And I'll take my hand and my fingers and I'll rub them together. Similar to when I tap my sword with the waves of energy. But instead, I will attempt to lift my leg up, my right leg up, and tap the side of my calf and transfer that energy to my calf. And I'm going to try and stomp down in an outward motion and send that energy outward.
Okay. I'm going to have you make an Arcana check for me.
Yeah. 15 plus 4, 19.
Hey.
Okay. As your foot makes contact with the ground, you want to describe what happens?
Yeah, is it completely successful?
It is successful.
Oh, jeez.
Completely successful.
Okay. Well, I stomp down and you see that energy in my, like, resonating around my calf kind of expands outward in a 15-foot kind of square cube out away from me. And this energy kind of just pushes out that way. And I guess maybe if I'm aiming it at a tree, it kind of runs into the tree a little bit, and just like a shockwave kind of outwards.
Everyone who is up in either sleeping in bed or just getting ready for bed, the entire structure around you just sort of vibrates, like the smallest earthquake that you could feel just sort of vibrates around you for a second and then calms back down.
I'll turn to Shreya. Whoa, I didn't think that was gonna work. Did you see that, Shreya?
Rez, what are you doing?
I mean, it's in the book, but it's like, I mean, I was looking at it all day, but I mean, it's farther later on. I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but oh my gosh, I did it! Whoa! Woo! I'm tired, man. Woo! And I like kind of drop to one knee after doing that and be like, I'm beat.
I was tired before your display.
Flynn, as you sort of drop to your knee, you realize how tired you are, and you have 1 point of exhaustion.
Oh no! Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So those.
Although
benches...
you did give me an idea.
Oh.
How close to the statue are we?
You guys, the statue is at the center of town, and Flynn is like beyond the borders of the town.
Oh. Okay.
So you guys are like probably a couple 100 feet away.
I look back at the statue, and then I gesture to the statue and the benches and say,
seeing that is one of the few areas with stone.
It's a stone statue, right?
It is a stone statue.
Okay.
I think I might be able to craft myself a sleeping accommodation. Would you like to see?
Yeah, definitely. Can I sit down though? I'm kind of.
I'll carry you.
And I sort of grab it.
As usual, as soon as I hear that, I hold my hands out in that T position, ready for a pickup on the shoulders, and
I'm gonna swiftly just like dart up and then swoop down toward the statue to make it quick.
Okay, you guys are both at the statue at this point.
I will sit right down on the bench.
I'm gonna attempt to druid craft some rock crest vines that are gonna go from the stone statue and then over to one of the benches, grow in and sort of create like a basket effect between if this is possible, between the statue and the bench.
For sure. So you sort of take a couple deep breaths in, and like sort of center yourself, and this place is totally unfamiliar to you, but you reach out to that nature around you, just like that core of nature and plant life, and you are able to there's like little growths of like moss and little plant life on the statue itself. It looks like it probably hasn't had a deep clean in a while, so there's like little plant growths all around it. And you reach out to each of those and they grow and expand, and as if hundreds of years of growth is happening all within 5 seconds, these vines then reach out and create this perfect little hammock for you.
Hoped that would work.
Hey, that was pretty cool. And at this point, Flynn's lying on the. I'm just lying on the bench, just almost passed out. Yeah, that's pretty great. Yeah, good job. I pass out.
Okay, and with that, I believe, is everyone all set for the night, ready to take a long rest?
Definitely.
Yes?
Aye.
Okay, awesome. You guys all begin sleeping, and you guys are all woken in the morning with the sounds of creaking wood as people are beginning to get up and move around and, disturb sort of the resting spots that this wood has found itself in, and the whole town seems to be creaking all at once as life is being brought back into it from the night. You guys start to look around, and as you guys are rubbing your eyes, really no daylight is coming in, as a lot of the sunshine has been either blocked by the trees above or is being absorbed by the fog around you guys. But as you guys wake up, you guys all have successfully taken a long rest.
Is it nighttime still? Where's the sun?
Yes, it is. Just keep sleeping.
Okay.
Whoosh.
No, I'm not tired anymore.
Try it.
I'm awake now.
Are you up?
Yeah.
Yeah. These people keep walking, and I can't fall back asleep.
I think we might be at an area where there's a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah. Okay, well, should we go find the rest of the group? Do you want to go back in that building, or should we wait outside?
Let's see what our friends are doing. As for this,
I look back toward like the rocks and the vines.
do you think they'd be upset if I left this here?
I'll look around at people walking by us, just like nonchalantly turn my head and to see if anyone's looking at him with disgust.
Yeah, you look around and you see in front of one of these houses that's sort of surrounding this center of town, you see a sort of like a middle-aged dwarven man standing there in his doorway, his arms crossed, his brow completely furrowed, just shaking his head back and forth, sort of like tapping his foot too.
Is this the same dwarf that I talked to, or a different one?
No, different one.
I'll kind of turn my head back towards Shreya, as I'm imagining us kind of like sleepover style, like I'm in one little area on the bench and his little vines are kind of hanging down next to mine and we're just kind of like sleeping next to the statue, and I'll turn my head back to him and I'll kind of do the point with my finger. I don't think that guy like really appreciates it. Maybe take him down whenever we're done. We should probably be done now too.
And as I kind of clock this dwarf with his arms crossed, I look over. Is he within like shouting distance?
Oh yeah, definitely.
No.
I'm gonna look over and I'm gonna say,
Not sure what happened here. I just found it this way. You know nature, magic, lots of new magics out these days. See you later. Not sure how to handle this.
and then I'll say to Flynn, haha. Yeah, I love it when I can deface a dwarven statue. And let's go. Come on, let's go. Quick.
Okay, we might have to unpack that later, but okay.
All right, Flynn and Shreya, as you guys get clear of this defacing of a dwarven statue, you guys run and meet with the rest of the party who is still back at the tavern.
woken up and moved down to the tavern bar, and I'm talking to Angela, and I have asked for breakfast.
So what we've got is sort of an assortment of vegetables right here, and as she's showing you sort of the plate that she's got in front of you. These vegetables I cooked in a special seasoning, so they're a little bit different from what you had last night. And then I was also able to scrounge up a couple of eggs from the other day. I was waiting for a special occasion, so I think this is definitely it. So I've made a couple of eggs for you here as well. And she pushes the plate out towards you.
Wow, that's so nice of you. I'm gonna share my breakfast with whoever is down here.
Okay, who else has come down? Well, Flynn and Shreya are just walking in the building.
Yeah, would we have noticed the tail end of that? Like her hospitality of giving us these eggs that she's scrounged up? Would we have noticed that?
Yeah, you would have just caught the tail end of that. But Kellic and March, are you guys upstairs or downstairs? Where are you guys at?
I'm still upstairs.
Okay.
I'm gonna have finished. I'm gonna once Olma has woken up, it's gonna, when she's out of bed, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm up. So I'm gonna finish rolling up my my bedding, and I'll follow Olma downstairs.
Okay, so
but before I do that, I'm gonna kind of peek into Kelly. We're heading downstairs, just so you know, and then I'm gonna just go downstairs.
Cool. So Flynn and Shreya, you guys approach the tavern, enter, and see Angela, Olma, and March at the bar.
Walk on up. Hey, what do you got there?
Oh, I have some vegetables cooked in a special seasoning and some very, very, very special eggs.
Oh, wow.
You want some? You
Of course. I'm really hungry. You missed it. I tried something really cool yesterday, and it worked.
What did you do?
Well, I can't do it here. I don't even know if I can do it again. But it was really cool.
What was it?
I, pushed energy out of my leg.
And what does that do?
I don't know. I haven't tried it on anything but a tree. It seemed to shake the tree pretty good.
So you figured out that you can shake trees?
Well, yeah. Well, it looked
and you're
cool.
tired from doing it?
I got really tired.
Well, maybe don't shake trees anymore? I mean, it doesn't sound very useful.
Well, in the book it says it's... Well, I'll have to show it to you when we leave. I can't do it in here. It'll damage everything. It's very powerful.
Right. You're a very powerful halfling.
Thanks, Olma. And I'll sit down and just start chowing down. Not realizing the sarcasm.
I shake my head.
Have I heard any of this? If I'm with Flynn.
Yeah, you're with Flynn, so you would have heard this.
I'm going to say under my breath,
I guess I'm not the only one who likes to fish.
Almost confused. I'm very confused. Well, I have some eggs, so, you can have some or whatever.
I'm gonna just sort of shake my head and kind of give it a little, and then just shovel some eggs in my mouth.
Where's Kellic?
He's dead.
What?
Well, he's not here, right? So he must be dead.
Olma, are you lying to me?
I never lie.
Olma, you almost always certainly lie.
I think there's a difference between lying and joking. I don't know, Flynn. Why don't you go check on him yourself?
All right, and I'll grab one more mushroom or whatever piece of breakfast as I walk up to the room and I'm chowing on it. I'll go up and check on Kellic.
Okay. As you approach Kellic, what does he find as you?
Is there a window in this room, DM?
Yeah. There is one window in each of the rooms, and they sort of open and shut, but they're pretty much bolted into the wall.
What's the weather like? Is it like, how's the sky looking this morning?
From here you cannot see the sky. Trees, gloomy, fog, but you do outside. You hear frogs croaking, and you hear insects buzzing around. Very damp swamp outside.
And so whatever light I can collect from that coming through the window, I will be, once again, I'll have my robes laid out on one side of myself with my necklace on top of them, and the bag of ashes, and then betwixt them in a kind of a triangle arrangement. Myself, I'll be kneeling. And Flynn would just hear maybe some muttering. But I'd be speaking, sort of looking between these things and saying, just show me, are we but children to be played with, to be told who to follow? Let me understand.
And I creak the door open to this and... Hey, buddy. Breakfast is ready.
Hey, Flynn. Yeah, thanks. March mentioned they were heading down.
Do you want me to bring something up? Seems like you're in the middle of something.
No. I'm just wrapping up here. I'll be down in a moment.
Okay.
Thanks. Did you sleep outside, Flynn?
Well, yeah, Try is uncomfortable indoors, I've been finding, so I figured I'd just, keep him company.
Alright, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to show it to you, but Alma thinks it's pretty great, too. I did this super cool thing last night with magic, and it worked, and I'm, super excited about it, so hopefully I can show it to you. Hopefully I can do it again. But yeah, I'll have to try it and show you. It looks super cool. Anyway, I'll be downstairs eating more breakfast, and I get excited talking about that, shut the door, and run back downstairs.
I look to my necklace and to the ashes, and into the sky to look for some source of light. Help me. Help me. And I'll collect myself and head downstairs.
Okay. You guys are all now collected at the bottom floor of this tavern, and you guys are all together. What would you all like to do as this new day greets you?
Oh, hey, Kellic. There's a little bit left here, but I'm basically done. If you want to keep eating, if anyone else wants to keep eating, I actually want to run around town and just see if I can find something to hold on to remember this place. So
might behoove us to get more of a local map or something to know where we're heading. I don't.
Hey, Angela, right? Do you have a map or anything that maybe would? And I'll look around the bar to see if anyone's in here.
Well, about a year before Oxian left home, he drew, I guess you could call it a map of Blackpool that I can have you guys take a look at.
Well, yeah, I think we're... And I look around the room to see if there's anyone listening, or I'll get up closer.
No one's actually in the tavern right now.
Yeah, we're gonna head out to that... I overheard you guys talking about another warehouse, so I think we're gonna go check that out. If you have a way to lead us there, if that map could be helpful, or if you could just point us in the right direction.
If you want to know where it is, I can... just give me 1 second.
Okay.
And so she runs into the back room, and you can hear her then run up the stairs to the rooms where you guys were. You can hear more rummaging around. You can hear a couple books fall off of a bookshelf. And as she runs back down, she comes down with a little framed drawing. And she puts it down on the table in front of you, and she says, well, this is it's not to scale at all, but it sort of can give you an idea. And you can see pretty much like a very rough map of Blackpool there in front of you. And in the corner, you can see in Dwarvish, it is signed for any of you. Can any of you guys read Dwarvish?
Yeah, Flynn can.
Okay, Flynn. So you see that it is signed Oxian Nightborn in the corner there. And she says, so basically what you got here is you got the majority of Blackpool, and then you've got a couple of these paths, these wooden paths leading off from the main town. So we are right here. This is the center of town. You can sort of see he drew a little bit of the statue right there. But right over here is where we are. So if you take this path right over here and you sort of lead it on, the path sort of has collapsed over the last couple of years. So I don't know the state of it right now, but you'll have to travel out on the path for a little bit. And she sort of traces her finger off of the drawing and off of the frame. And she says, and I think last I know of, the path sort of ended right here. But if you continue in that exact direction that the path is leading you, that should take you directly towards the new warehouse. So you might have to get your feet dirty a little bit, but it should be right in that direction that the path leads you.
Okay. I don't want to take this, but do you mind if I look at it for a bit and maybe try and sketch something out so we have like a rough idea?
If you want to sketch a copy, yes, I would like to keep a hold of this one.
And thank you for your hospitality. I mean, I don't know if I introduced myself, and apologies, but I'm Flynn Fellowweave, and I'm part of the Ironlight Collective. And, yep, and I'm part of the Ironlight Collective, and, I'm just glad to meet you.
That's fantastic. I don't know what that is, but it sounds very important.
That's probably good. I'm not supposed to mention it. Anyway, thanks. I'll sketch this out really quick. Is there... Oh, you said there's no gift shop. Is there, like, a general store?
Yes, we sort of got general wares right across, right past over. If you go past the big statue, there's sort of a general wares right beyond there.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. And I'll just start sketching while everyone finishes breakfast.
Just observing this conversation, I'm just shaking my head, especially when he brings up the Ironman Collective. It's just like just physically shrugging my shoulder, like putting my hands in the air at the mention of it.
Yeah. So do you want me to roll or anything for how well I can draw this?
Yeah, make another sleight of hand check.
Sweet. We get a natural 20 on this, I'm gonna freak out. Sleight of hand. No, definitely not. That is a 6.
6. You sort of get it there. You get the idea.
Hold it up. Proud of my work.
Flynn, I think you lost your mojo.
What are you talking about? This looks great. See, look.
Maybe James was your
muse.
What do they call them? Like a muse?
No.
Yeah.
This
like
is the
muse.
statue.
Maybe.
This, and then that is the direction we need to go.
Flynn, some artists paint the same subject for every one of their paintings. Maybe that's the kind of artist you are.
Yeah, maybe you can just draw James.
Just James the fisherman.
And on the statue, I'll draw a little face that looks like James's, and I'll put little dots. Maybe you're right. Well, I think this will still get us there. And I'll roll it up and stick it in my backpack.
That's definitely enough to go on.
I think so.
It's more than we're used to going on, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if y'all are still eating, but I'm gonna just run out to the general store and see if I can find anything.
Oh, but be quick, because we gotta go. We don't know how long it'll take us to get there.
Well, it'll be worth it, because, memories are awesome.
What?
And I'll head out.
We both just look at him very skeptically.
Flynn, you run out and you see a sign in Dwarvish, but luckily you read Dwarvish. A sign that says General Store. Strangely enough, right above the doorway that you saw the scolding dwarven gentleman who was not looking at Shreya too kindly.
Great, cool. I'm gonna go in. Ting ting.
Okay. Yeah, the little bell rings as you walk in, and he's sort of facing away from you. He's sort of adjusting some of the knickknacks on his shelves, and he goes, "Hey, what can I do for you?" Oh, what can I do for you?
Hi, friend. My name's Flynn Fellowweave, and I am just curious if you have any, I don't know, knickknacks or, for the lack of a better term, souvenirs, so I can remember this great town.
Yeah, we've got all this stuff on the shelves.
I'll look at the shelves. What kind of cool stuff does he got?
If I sort of know where you're going with this, and I think I do, It's mostly it's a general store. It's got like different bags and stuff. It's got like woodworking equipment. It's got some like metalworking equipment that's a little bit more run down. Just like sort of your general needs. But then off in the corner, you see what looks like possibly like a little kids section, where he has got very similar to what you saw at Angela's kids room.
Right.
Very similar little like dwarven statues, only about 3 inches tall. Some of them made of wood, some of them made of iron, some of them made of copper. And you can see they're just like these little toy soldiers.
Yeah, I'll walk over and are they different or are they all the same toy soldier? Are they different?
They all look like handcrafted, so even the ones that are sort of in the same pose and the same position have differences between them, whether they were intentional or not.
Is there one that looks like more feminine?
Oh yeah, about half of them have some more feminine features. Half of them have some more male features.
I'll pick up one of the feminine looking ones and kind of smile. Yeah, she'll like this. And I'll walk up to the counter, put it on the table, and in Dwarvish I'll say, I'll take one of these.
And in Dwarvish back, he says, great, you speak Dwarvish. Okay.
How's my
cool.
accent, though? Is it okay? I don't use it too much anymore.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's good.
I think that's kind of the point, I guess. Which one did you take? There is wood versions, iron versions, and copper versions.
Ooh. Wood, iron. I'd ask the shopkeeper, which one do you think will hold up the best in the roughest of situations?
In the roughest of situations, well, it depends what situations you're getting yourself into. The copper ones are, they'll bend and fold a little bit easier, but the iron ones like sort of rust quicker. So it just depends sort of what you're looking for. But the wooden ones are definitely like a little bit more dainty.
How much for all three?
How much for all three? Let's just call it 1 gold piece.
Let's just do that, just to be safe. Because, if I jump in a pool of water to save my friends from a hydra, or if I, run into a cliff and fall down, or...
Yeah, I get it. It's going to be 1 gold piece.
Oh. You got it. And I'll reach into my bag and pull out 2 gold pieces, place them on the table. Sorry about my friend with the statue.
Yeah, I'm going to go and clean that up later.
Okay.
That's just disrespectful.
I know. Well, are we cool?
He looks at you. He looks down at the 2 gold pieces. He looks back at you. Looks at the gold pieces, back at you. Yeah, we're square.
And I'll say in kind of like broken Dwarvish, have a great day. And as I head out.
Yeah, you too, I guess. Whatever.
I'll scurry back to the group as I put the 3 statues in my little bag, my separate bag.
Okay. Flynn, as you come back, I assume everyone else is sort of packing up and getting ready to go?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. So you guys head out. You guys leave. You say goodbye to Angela. You leave the Hidden Spade Tavern, and you guys follow Flynn's map out to this little pathway that's leading away from Blackpool. Just as Angela said, you guys walk on the path for a little bit, and then after about 20 minutes of walking or so, the path completely falls out from beneath you. You see that like this rot and mildew has completely destabilized a lot of the path, but you do still see these vertical pillars to where the path once was held aloft. These stilts coming out of the water are still pretty much intact where the rest of the wood has fallen away. So as you guys walk, you guys are able to... Is there anything you want to do before you sort of jump down into this bog?
How deep are we able to tell right off? How deep are we talking of a bog here? Are we talking a couple inches, or are we talking like a foot or so?
It's about a foot to maybe a foot and a half at some points.
So it's like to Flynn's waist.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to not put. I'm gonna try to hover as much as I can. Like I don't want to put body parts through that.
Okay, yeah, sure. You can keep yourself aloft for as long as you want to, for sure.
I'm gonna hey March.
Yep.
Do you think I can go on your back?
Yep, I was just about to say to you or Flynn, if either one of you needs to not be. Yep, okay. Oh my. You just let me know and I'll one hand grab you and you can piggyback grab.
Yep, I'm gonna go on your back.
Flynn will look to Shreya.
Okay.
I'll look to Shreya. Hey, can you do that?
Yeah. More than I bargained for. I don't know how long I can do that. I suppose I could try.
And I swoop down. How long could I feasibly carry him if we're like traveling?
So from when you had done this previously for an extended period of time, you know that you could probably carry him for about 2 minutes before you would have to start making some sort of strength check, just to see if you can keep both of yourselves alive.
Oh, I mean, just like,
because
can I just
Shreya,
be on your shoulders? Like Oma and March?
Shreya is flying
Yeah.
at this point, so he would be. It's not the strength to necessarily hold on to you; it's the strength to keep both him and yourself aloft in the air. Shreya being an Aarakocra, just like a bird, bones are hollow. His body itself is very light, so it's not a big deal to keep himself aloft. But with both equipment and yourself, he would have to start making strength
Okay,
checks.
so are we not just walking through the bog altogether? You're flying above it? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
I would prefer not to make any bodily contact with this desolate terrain.
Yeah, me either. I think it's gonna come up to like my chest if I do. And I'll look to Kellic, assumingly. Hey, buddy.
I'm not putting you on my back.
Come on, man. I'm only like 30 pounds.
Flynn, it's not gonna happen.
Ah. I'm gonna look around for a way.
Realistically,
I'm on March's back, and I just look down at Flynn. I say, "Looks like you're just gonna have to walk."
I'll look up at March.
realistically, how much does Oma weigh, and then how much does Flynn weigh? Realistically.
A human at 12 years old weighs like 85 pounds.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, let's call it.
I'm gonna-
Let's call it an even 160. Would be both of them.
Yeah. I'm gonna look down at Flynn and go, I'm not even. I don't. This is why I don't have children.
I've already started to wade
Hold on.
through this while after
Yeah, I'm just
dismissing
gonna.
Flynn,
I'm gonna start
I'm just
waiting.
moving through.
But I'm gonna look at Flynn and go. But if you want me to, I can hold your hand to make sure that you don't.
Well,
go
I mean,
down.
it's more about me being completely covered in whatever's in this.
Well, that's why I hold your hand.
well, it's only
so that
a
if there's
foot.
anything
I
bad-
mean, let me stick. Can I find like a piece of stick or something that I can stick down and see how high it comes up on this?
Yeah, there's
On the-
sticks and stuff everywhere. At
Cool.
the point that you guys are standing at right now, it is about a foot.
So it'll go.
A foot. So it's like your
Okay.
thighs.
All right, I guess that's not too bad.
The little muck, Flynn. It builds character.
Can I throw some muck at Kellic?
Yeah, make an attack roll.
What do I add?
Add your dexterity modifier.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. 21.
Yeah,
I just pull a big pile
a-
of dirt and slop.
A ball of mud just nails you in the back of the head.
How's that for character?
cool.
Oh shit!
I cast create water above Flynn and just cover him in rainwater
No!
in a 30-foot cube above him.
Flynn, you're all wet.
Well,
Oh
I
my
guess it
God.
doesn't matter if I go in the swamp now. I'm ready to go. And I just jump in the swamp
Okay.
and make a splash. And start walking.
I'm gonna go ahead and make my. I'm on March's back, but I'm gonna try and shimmy up to her shoulders so that I'm sitting on her shoulders because I imagine that will be an easier way for her to have her arms free.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Olma sitting on top of March's shoulders, Flynn wading through, Kalik wading through, and Shreya circling above. As you guys are in this swamp, for the time that you guys are in the mud itself and not in a raised platform, everyone except for Shreya, because he's flying, everyone's movement speed is halved, as this is difficult terrain. As you guys move along, can I just get a quick marching order for you guys? Are you guys going in any particular order as you guys are moving through?
I mean, it's probably Kellic in the front and then March
I'll take
and I
Kellic,
like behind you. Something like that.
Yeah.
Would March and
Yeah.
I be able to be walking next to each other? Like side by side? Okay.
Yeah, I'd be able to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
would
probably just
prefer that,
trailing
yeah.
behind Kellic.
And what I'm going to do
Awesome.
is take like passes. So like I'm going to circle and I'll go toward the front and then I'll pass over toward the tail end of the line. And then just in a kind of way that I'm able to, see a nice perimeter and while kind of, I'd be able to hopefully see if we were heading towards something. I'd go a little bit beyond the furthest reach of the party before I pass and go back.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So as you guys are traveling through this swamp, I'm going to have everyone make a perception check for me. As you guys are wading through and looking for this secondary warehouse.
That's a 20 for me.
Nice.
Dirty.
I got an 8.
6.
18.
13.
Okay. Shreya and March, as you guys are traveling along here, you guys are sort of looking around, and as you guys just glance off to your right for a split second, you see possibly an animal, possibly something living, sort of running off in the distance and then stopping behind a tree. It's a couple 100 feet away, but you guys see it's sort of like you guys are looking around. There's a lot of animals and plant life going on, but most of them are smaller. This one was definitely of a bigger size, maybe the size of a humanoid, maybe the size of a deer, something sort of within that range. That you guys see sort of dart behind a tree.
All of us saw this?
Just March and Shreya.
I would like to kind of put my head up to Shreya. How far up is Shreya above us?
It depends how high Shreya wants to be flying.
I would
Yeah, how high up are
I would imagine below the tree line, but like with enough distance that I'm not going to be like bopping people in the head. So I guess, I don't know, 15 feet above them.
The tops of the trees
Okay.
that sort of create this canopy above you are 50 feet
Oh,
up in the
50.
air. So
Wow.
you've got quite a bit of room to play with there.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, I should have worded that differently. Like, Shreya, are you within earshot?
Every now and then I would be
Yeah.
as I, pass around.
Okay, so as like on your next pass around, I'd like to try and like get your attention and be like, Shreya,
What?
did you see that, or is this place giving me hallucinations?
I did see something.
Do you see movement
I'm
to your
not
right?
sure what it is, but there is. I can't tell. I'm not familiar with this part of the world.
Okay, well, let's just, I don't think you should go, like, none of us should go check it out solo, but let's just keep it on our radar that there's something over there. I don't really know what.
Wait, what? There's something over where?
Don't worry. I thought I saw something. We think we see something moving to the right. It could.
Shreya,
It's like
I mean, you're above the ground. Can you just fly and get a peek at it?
it's like some kind of bog creature or something.
That
Yeah.
sounds spooky. Why don't you go get a good look at
All
it
right,
and let us
I'll
know?
go over.
And I'm going to like fly closer toward it. And maybe try to, I don't know, if I saw it in one point, I'm going to approach, like I'll take a wide sweep and try to look at it from the side or something.
Okay. As you fly over, now I'm going to have you make another perception check. You can make this at advantage because you are specifically looking for this moving thing. and you know sort of where it last was.
Right, yeah. So advantage. Oh, nope, that'll help. That is a 13.
13. Okay. As you approach closer, you notice the same movement again. It's, at this point, most definitely humanoid. You can see sort of this flash of a dark cloak as you can see a medium-sized humanoid sort of sprinting in between these trees. And you catch this humanoid full sprint, using their full movement, sprinting, and as soon as they pass behind a tree to where you can't see them, they vanish.
With this knowledge, I'm gonna swoop back toward the party, and
It's some kind of earth-walking creature. They're moving very fast. Perhaps we should prepare ourselves.
Are they coming towards us?
I'm not sure.
No, they're sort of running parallel to you guys.
oh, okay.
Not getting from what you saw, they weren't approaching the party any further. They were running directly parallel.
Oh, okay.
They seem to be keeping pace with us in some way. At a distance.
Are they also in the bog?
Yes, seeming to favor trees.
Well, maybe we'll just keep an eye out?
Yeah, if it hasn't come at us, let it do a thing, I guess.
Did they look like any of the people that were in the tavern? Did they look like Hologard?
I didn't get a good look in the tavern, but I did see a green cloak.
It was actually in the tavern. Sorry, real quick. In the tavern, the two who were wearing hoods, very clearly like brown cloaks.
Oh, brown.
The one that you saw sprinting was in a dark black cloak.
My memory was escaping me there for a second. It was actually a black cloak.
Black and green. If it's dark green, man, sometimes they can look the same.
Do birds see color? Or is that...
This bog is... Yes, we do. This bog is clouding my vision.
The bog is clouding all of our vision.
I don't know. I can see great up here.
Yeah, speaking of that, whatever we can do to get out of this as soon as possible, I would appreciate it. Can we keep going forward now?
Is the bog
Yes.
clouding our vision, DM? Are we...
No, it's very clearly foggy. So like it starts to cloud your vision at distance, but you still have your normal line of sight on most things. There's just sort of a general haze around you. But as you guys continue forward, you continue on for another 5 or 10 minutes, and as you guys are walking directly in front of you, you guys see at this point. It was kind of hard to see because there are trees in a lot of places, so it sort of came out of nowhere. But at this point, you guys are about 40 feet away from a deep black onyx staff raising perfectly straight out of the bog. You guys see it, and it's like this perfectly cylindrical staff just vertically coming out of the swamp in the mud, about 5 feet tall. But near the top, you see 5 golden rings, like halos, sort of consecutively, that's the word I'm looking for, consecutively sort of making their way down the staff, sort of floating there, suspended in midair, almost making 5 golden halos around this staff.
Can we see? Is it sticking up out of the mud?
Just sticking up out of the mud.
Are we able to determine from this distance, like, what it's made of, if it's stone, if it's, like, what it is, or...
Probably not from this distance. It's very dark black, but you would have to get closer to see any sort of makeup. The rings are gold, very clearly, as, it looks gold.
Okay.
Whoa.
Everybody I see that?
Yeah, that's super weird.
Are the rings are going up and down the staff?
They're not moving, but there are like the 5 rings are sort of hovering with the staff in the middle of all of the rings. So there's the staff, and then each ring is sort of floating one on top of the other.
Slightly different, okay.
At slightly different intervals, going up the staff.
Can I make a spooky vibes check?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, roll a spooky vibes check.
Let's go.
I mean, when is it not
No kidding.
spooky?
That's the question. That is a 16.
Oh, so spooky.
Other quick question.
Ultra spooky.
Is it lustrous or is it dull?
In regards to the golden rings?
Yes.
The golden rings look to be untouched by the mud around it. They're like these perfectly shiny rings.
Okay, Shreya's gonna get closer.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
How much closer?
Quickly caught by the pulsing rings, he's gonna duck in and just like glide down toward them, which is still pretty fast considering I'm flying.
Try it out.
Okay. You fly up, and how close are you getting? You start at about 50 feet away,
50
so
feet.
how close would you like to get?
I'm gonna get within 15.
Within 15. Okay. You get within 15, and you can see that this staff seems to be planted directly into the ground, and that these gold rings are just like slowly, each of them, like the top one, is slowly rotating clockwise. The one below it is slowly rotating counterclockwise. The one below that, slowly clockwise, and like switching back and forth.
Does this staff look familiar to me?
Make a history check.
Do we notice Shreya getting...
Critical fail.
Critical fail? You don't really know.
Do we notice Shreya getting super close? Has he paused?
Yeah, Shreya has flown within 15
And he
feet.
stopped?
For sure.
Yeah, I'm like kind of hovering right above it. Just like
Shreya,
Yeah.
be careful.
Stay your hand, Shreya. I'm getting some spooky vibes from this thing. I asked for help, so here's your chance. Revelare Arcanis. And I'll cast Detect Magic.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And I would like to, now I'm assuming it's magical. I can detect magic within, the presence of magic within 30 feet. But it also tells me what school of magic, if any.
This is interesting.
Oh, no.
It's not interesting. It's
Things
just a
you never
normal
want to hear
staff.
from your
It's just
DM.
a regular staff. Just stay in the
It's
middle of the
just-
swamp.
No problem.
Okay,
It's
I'm gonna
not
say that this staff is conjuration.
Conjuration.
Yeah.
One of the spookiest
Mm.
of magics.
Why is it so spooky?
It seems like conjuration magic. That means bringing something from somewhere other than here to here, in the simplest terms.
Do you think it's just bringing the bog, maybe? Like maybe it's just bringing the mud and muck.
All mud and muck is native to this area. Why would you need to bring more of it?
Well, maybe it's been here forever and that's why it's native to this area and there's nothing else.
It's just sitting there. We could just move past it, right?
Mm-hmm.
While I have this up, DM, can I detect our hooded watcher, observer?
What's the range on detect magic?
It's 30 feet.
No, you are not able to. So as Shreya is within 15 feet, are you guys staying back, or would you guys like to move in with Shreya?
I'm gonna move in.
I'm going
range
to
of
continue to walk towards
Yeah,
it.
reluctantly.
And I am on March's shoulders, so I am.
So Alma has no choice.
Okay.
Yeah, reluctantly. Yeah.
Awesome. So as you guys all approach, how close are you guys getting to it?
I'd like to get within 10. I'd like to get basically where Shreya's at.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do
Awesome.
the
So as you guys are approaching, I'm going to have each of you guys make a wisdom saving throw.
No.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Oh.
For a total of 22.
Right.
Wisdom save. Oh, nice. 16.
Wisdom save. Flynn had
I just did a crit fail and a
16.
natural 20 back to back.
13 for Flynn.
Okay. Who got above a 15?
Alma.
Me.
Gallic.
March.
Okay, so
And I'm your
Alma,
DM, Ethan.
Kellic, and March. Everyone here, all of you guys hear like this deep boom in your heads. You hear like this deep bell sound. Flynn and Shreya, both of you guys take 1 point of psychic damage
Ooh.
as the rest of you guys sort of feel this effect not really taking hold too much, but you guys feel like something has happened inside of your heads. As like this deep ringing sort of jostles your brain around, it feels like. As that happens, each of the rings, one by one, drops from the staff into the mud and disappears into the mud. Another one drops, disappears into the mud. They all drop into the mud, and there's a couple moments of silence before the staff itself disintegrates from the top, just completely wisping away into nothing. After another couple seconds, you guys see off to your right, a little, probably like a 5-foot area, the mud begins to bubble and boil. You see another one off to your right, the mud begins to boil. Another 2 off to your back, another one right in front of you. 5 areas where the mud begins to boil and bubble here. You guys see at the one in front of you, the mud begins to rise up, begins to elongate and form and solidify into this humanoid shape. And after a couple moments, it just looks like a humanoid shape, but then it starts to solidify and sort of come together. And you guys start to see features within the face. And you guys see an elven man. You guys see the ears that come up, the long hair that drapes down. And you guys see what looks like Farlane in front of you, but made out of this mud. And off to the left, you guys see another one rise up. And you guys see it's more the size of a child, but like a young child. And the mud begins to form and solidify around them. And it almost has the features of March. Like you can sort of pick out, like it looks like a young March. The next one off to your right, you guys can see it rising up. And this one's taller and a lot more elegant. And you guys can see another elven feature come up. You guys can't quite tell who this is or what this looks like. But this is like very clearly that of an elven descent. They're about 5'11". Their hair is like very long and well kept, and you can see like a very slight golden glow behind the eyes. One of the ones to your back, you see another elvish sort of figure. This one sort of smaller and not as young as the one that sort of has March's same visage, but sort of like almost like a teenager of an elf, looking like almost a younger version of Melleru Cardinal. And you're not exactly sure what's happening here, but they sort of share some of the same features of Melleru. The other one in the far back, you guys see another humanoid begin to elongate out. This one, not with pointed ears, but a very humanoid look, obviously very human. You see like the long beard start to come out, and you can see this thin hair, sort of like salt and pepper hair, begin to form around their head. And that is where we're going to end today's session.
What do they want? What do they want?
Weird mud monster Farlane?
Spooky vibes!
Oh no.
I thought
So
I
that-
hated Farlane enough already.
That is where we're going to end with these sort of 5 mud creatures taking different forms around you guys. That is where we're going to end. I had a lot of fun with that one. I hope you guys did too. But that is where we're going to end. Thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see you all again next week. Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds.
Goodbye, nerds. Hey, this is Shane. Big thanks to everyone who participated in our digital dice giveaway with D&D Beyond. That was really cool to see everyone who applied, I guess, for that. Sorry if you didn't win, but we will do more of those in the future, so you'll have more opportunities. Also, it's a really, really cool way for y'all to show support to the podcast. So we really, really appreciate that. And as always, thank you primarily for listening. That's so important. And liking, subscribing, rate, reviewing, tell your friends. And those of you that subscribe to our Patreon, that's amazing. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye, nerds.